Oh, you thought I was feeling you? You was a fucking munch, nigga. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Now, this story I got for y'all today, it's about a Spanish guy named Juan. And he's a nieta. If you've never heard of him, it's probably because y'all never been to prison. So, the nietas are a well-known prison gang. Not so much on the streets, but they crazy. They crazy too. Don't get it twisted. The name rings bells in many, many prisons, state to state. So they definitely got movement. Now, there's normally nothing really going on with them. They quiet, stay to themselves type of gang. They like to fight, like, boxing. A lot of them was, practicing on the streets, Golden Glove and amateur stuff. But in prison, that's a talent. Being able to defend yourself or teach somebody how to defend themselves is a very respectable talent in prison. Because everybody know you ain't going for nothing up in there. Now, it's Wednesday. Y'all know we getting new inmates. So, a couple guys will roll up in the pod, and one of them be a Spanish guy. He come in the pod and they put him in the cell with Juan. He goes up to the cell, meets Juan. Juan tells him, listen, I'll give you a little time to yourself, let you put your stuff up. You got the top bunk, and we'll talk later when I get back. So Juan spin off, go kick it with his gang. They got a game of dominoes going, so he goes sit in on that, and they just bullshitting and talking and, just vibing. And Juan don't even realize how much time is going by. And he like, dang, I want to go take a nap before count. Because I want to be up for count so I can do my calisthenics while we on lockdown for count. And he like, damn, I've been down here over an hour. I ain't even realized it already. Dang. Listen, y'all, I'm going to go take a nap real quick. If anybody need me, I'll be upstairs in the cell. Cause holler at me. They're like, all right. Cause normally after lockdown, they would end up, going out to practice. They all hit the yard and go shadow box and, box with each other or whatever. Light spars. They wasn't trying to hurt each other, but they be practicing. Now, Juan, he went back up to his cell. Now, this is like about an hour later since he, left old boy up there to get his stuff together. Now, he back up in the cell. He like, oh, damn, I forgot. I had to talk with old boy. He forgot he had a new cellmate. So he get in there and he like, all right, we gonna make this quick. Listen, you gotta sit down to piss. I don't want no piss splattering on my, bed while you pissing. You got to make sure this cell stay clean. Ain't no visitors. You know what I mean? And keep your stuff on your side. Do not touch my stuff, ever. If you need something, ask if I can help you. I'll try. But do not touch my stuff. Now, the guy's name is Miguel. And Miguel's like, all right. He's like a Toucan Sam, like, all right. Now, Juan like, hey, what you in here for, man? Where your paperwork at? What you here for? He like, oh, burglary. Yeah, burglary. So, found his paperwork, and he was telling the truth. He was in there for burglary. He was robbing houses. Now, he like, all right, I guess I could turn my back on dude for a few minutes, get a little shut eye. Want to tell him, like, listen, I'm about to take a quick nap. Don't let nobody in the cell. And like I said, just don't touch my stuff, man. And we be all right. So Juan go ahead and get in the bunk and lay down. And before you know it, he pass out. Now, this is where things get a little crazy, y'all. Even diabolical. While Juan is passed out, Miguel is going through, his own stuff, his personal belongings up on his bunk. And he's supposed to be getting settled in, right, y'all? Miguel is up there putting it on. Miguel done pulled out eyelashes. He got lipstick. He got the stuff for your cheeks to make it shine with the little sparkles in it. Yeah, y'all. Miguel's whole uniform is altered. He got his shirt tied in the front, and he got a rip in the back. Yeah, a visible rip in the back of his pants on purpose. Now, I don't know if the prison knew about his status or if he's undercover. I mean, he came in here with that stuff in his bag. So wherever he came from, it must have been admitted. Somebody gave him that stuff. Now, what do y'all think, y'all? Get in the comment box. What do you think happened? What do you think really happened in that room that day when Juan woke up? Well, I'm going to tell you. Juan woke up. He got up as soon as they called the last count. And he's like, all right, bet. I'm going to do my calisthenics. And right away, as soon as he got up off his bunk, he looked up to make sure his bunkie was where he should be and not trying nothing sneaky on him. And dude had on makeup, mascara, eyelashes. He had his hair pulled back in a bun. I guess you could call it a man bun. He was up there on that bunk looking like a female. Now, Juan been down 15 years. Juan ain't got nobody coming to see him. Don't nobody care about Juan but that gang. Juan took one look at him and said, "Who the hell are you?" And Miguel's like, "It's me, Miguel." They're, whoa. That's not how you look when I went to sleep, man. What the hell's going on? What's going on? And Miguel's like, well, I hadn't had a chance to get changed yet, but this is really me. This is how I look, how I dress. This is how I am. And Juan like, what you mean that's how you are? He like, that's how I am. Like, it is what it is. And he like, oh, wait a minute. You mean you be taking it? And Miguel's like, yeah. And Juan at first, was like, oh hell nah. Man, I can't have you up in this cell. I can't have you up in this cell with me. Now, y'all, this is the craziest thing that I've ever been told in my life, because, man, I don't know what's wrong with these booty bandits and these guys in prison. They think they're going to mess with another man, and another man that thinks they're a girl. And you think that man girl ain't going to spill, ain't going to get out there and gossip and exploit you to all of the other man girls and let them know who they just took down or took them down? Oh, you a damn fool. Nah, your name is getting spread across the prison like hotcakes on a Sunday morning with a side of eggs, grits, and sausage. Yeah, he did that. Now, man, listen, Miguel got down off that bunk and said, listen, everything is cool. Just chill out, Juan. Just chill, Juan. Just chill. And at the same time, while he's telling him to chill, he got his hands on his shoulders, both of them, and he's rubbing them. And he's like, just chill, just chill. And he's easing Juan back on down to sit down on his bunk, the bottom bunk. And he's like, just chill, Juan. And as Juan is sitting down on the bottom bunk, Miguel is slowly coming down to his knees. And Juan, at first, he's a little loud from what, Miguel told everybody. But Miguel said he came around after a few minutes. Meaning, after a few minutes of him, how can I put this? He was getting some head. Yeah. Miguel was putting it on Juan real quick. And Juan just couldn't fight back. All that boxing and nieta and manly man, he just couldn't fight back. After all that time he'd been down, he just couldn't fight back. So after that, Juan was a little ashamed from what Miguel said, and he sat in the corner, and didn't talk and was quiet. And again, Miguel said it just took a little coaching and a little getting used to for Juan. But he promised Juan he wouldn't go out the pod looking the way he did right now. He admitted he only put it on for Juan because he knew Juan wanted him. Yeah. He said, my dress up is only for my man. And I'm never going to go walk out in the pod and let everybody see who I really am. This is only for you. And now Juan happy as hell. He like, you know what? Maybe this could work. Maybe I can make this work. You can't tell my gang. You can't tell nobody. You can't tell nobody what you are. But I love you, man. I love you. I want you to stay right here in this cell. So Miguel, he's smiling ear to ear. He like, yeah, I got one. Now, Miguel got future plans. Miguel know the only way to keep a man is to bust it open. So Miguel, he already ready for all that. Miguel been boofing work and everything else in his jail pocketbook. So he ready. He ready for Juan. Now, I know y'all say that's a little descriptive and even disgusting. And I totally agree with you people. But this is prison. And what you think goes down? You think a punk just gonna lay up in a room with an inmate that got 25, 30 years to do and ain't gonna try and seduce him? Oh yeah, that's exactly what happens to the biggest and baddest of them. Don't be surprised when you hear about your favorite rapper dealing with a punk. It all starts somewhere, people. Now, if you got a good gang or some homies to keep you structured, or you just got the mental mindset yourself to be a man and stand up, that's the only way you're going to survive in prison. Otherwise, you food for the fish. And they swarming. The sharks are swarming, y'all. Now, after that whole ordeal, Juan head on back out to the day room, get up with the homies, his crew, his gang. And Juan, he's a little jittery. You know that feeling when you feel like everybody looking at you, like somebody's watching you, right? So Juan get around his crew and, he feel like everybody looking at him, and he like, what's up? What? And they're like, what's up with you, man? Ain't nobody say nothing. What's good with you? What up, Juan? Damn, what up? What up? Damn. How many times you gonna say it? And you're like, oh, I thought y'all was looking at me. I thought y'all was saying something. I don't know. Never mind. Like, you good? You good, Joe? Like, yeah. Word. So, what's good? And like, all right, anyway. So they start to talk about their daily business and whatever moves they was making, whether, they was going to be running down on somebody or extorting somebody, whatever the case is. Every gang had operations, especially in prison. There was a guy that was in charge, and this is in all. This is one gem I'm gonna drop, and I hope y'all don't hate me for it. And it don't even matter because you could never prove it and find out who it was in every jail in America. But there was always one guy that was part of each gang. All his job was to stay in communication with the outside gang. Yeah. Every gang had one member that all their job was, they didn't have to, fight and get in all the crap. If possible, if it was enough of them to take everybody on, unless they really had to get in and get that brawl on. But it was always one gang member that always could have an excuse to fall back because they were too valuable to, be expended. They had to stay in communication with the street level gang and keep, that's how everybody kept up to date. You can't be doing 10, 15, 20 years and be part of a gang and you don't know, some of the rules might have changed or something might be, different. So you need to stay in contact. Anyway, Carlos was that dude. He was the one that was staying in contact with people on the street connected to the Nietas. And I'm not going to mention their names. Now, Carlos got intel back about old boy that's in Juan's cell. And supposedly, Miguel's pretty tough. Miguel should be a part of their set. But he don't want to join. And they don't know why. They can't figure out why. But they do know he could throw them bows. Meaning, if it come down to it, toe to toe, Miguel could hold his own. So, the Street Connects is telling them, yo, press him up in there. Make him join, man. Make him join. He need to be a brother. He need to come home with us, man. Come on, man. And, they're like, all right, bet. He in one of the homie cells right now. We'll have him do it tomorrow. We'll have him press him tomorrow. And they're, all right, cool. And meanwhile, Juan is headed back up to that cell. It's time for last lockdown, y'all. Yeah. Last lockdown for the night. And well, let's just say Miguel has prepared a special surprise for Juan. Now, I know a lot of y'all be scrolling on the internet and y'all probably seen a Fifi before. They make them out of rubber gloves and rags and all types of, crazy stuff. Balloons, what have you. They crazy. Now, pretty much, I guess, what I could say to describe what I was told, this idiot told everybody else in that community, I guess, that spread it. Yeah, it's crazy how things spread, how rumors and stories spread. But this story, by the time it got to me, probably done been twisted around 20 or 30 times before it got to me to try and protect somebody. But From what I was told, Miguel turned himself into a Fifi. Now, I'm not going to elaborate on that, but let's just say Miguel was into safe sex. So he was all about latex, and he had a steady supply of those Trojans. Yeah. I don't even know how Miguel has status to get something like that off, because a CO had to give him them joints. But he had a steady supply of them, and he wasn't sharing. He wasn't giving them to nobody. You're like, nah, you on your own. I need my rubbers. Now, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, y'all, because I cannot have YouTube messing up my algorithm and showing this to people that do not appreciate these stories. So, let's just say Miguel, he pretty much invaded Juan's bed that lockdown. When Juan got back to that cell, Miguel was laid out, spread eagle, on his bunk, the bottom bunk. Now, I know a lot of y'all saying that's disrespectful. That man lay there. Yeah, but you know what? Juan nasty ass, he was there for it. He was there for it. And when I tell you, Juan probably put that white sheet up faster than he could get himself in the door. Yeah. Supposedly, Miguel told all of the other sissies in the prison that Miguel put that white sheet up and jumped in that bed. And he couldn't wait. He couldn't contain himself, y'all. And I can't get more descriptive than that. He did what he did, and he enjoyed himself. When it was all done and over with, Juan didn't say a word. He just got up in his bunk, turned over, and smoked him a cigarette, and went to sleep. He ain't even clean off, y'all. Nasty ass. As for Miguel, well, as Miguel sat there wiping his lips off and cleaning himself up so nobody would know his alter ego, getting that makeup off and that mascara, he just had the devilish grin. And it don't stop there, y'all. It don't stop there. Now, I don't know why Miguel would implement this diabolical plan, but Miguel, as soon as that lockdown was over, he left the pod. And he went and told everybody that would listen, this Negro just blew my back out. And he like, huh? What? Juan? And all of the sissies like, oh hell no. I knew I should have tried him last year. I knew it. I knew he was gonna go for it. And they all mad. They hating. And Miguel like, don't be mad, I'm a bad bitch. Now, this word was spread through the whole prison. Juan was well known. He was part of the Nietas. So when this word started getting out and getting around the gang, they start, what's good? What's good with him? We might have to see what's good, check him and shit. So here we go the next day, outside on the big yard, walking the track. It's people walking the track, it's people chilling on the sidelines, they smoking, they listening to music, they rapping, all types of shenanigans going on, right? And here go Miguel, Juan, all in the Nietas, everybody's out there. Now, mind you, the Nietas at this point, they know all about Miguel. They know he can handle himself. And now they're gonna make Juan prove himself. And I know y'all like, damn, he been down for the longest. But whenever something like this happens, and yeah, it's fucked up. But this is with most gangs. If there's ever an allegation of homosexual activity, oh, you gotta prove yourself again, homie. You gotta reassure us that that shit ain't true. So you gotta do this and you gotta do that and you gotta do this. Yeah, that's how it go. Unfortunately, y'all. So, now, Nietas told him straight up, like, yo, we've been hearing a lot of things going on about you and that dude Miguel. You know, is there anything you need to tell us? Like, what's good? You know what I mean? Because you got the name out there, like, you part of us. And you got our name looking like shit. You got our name looking like we condoning some kind of homosexual activity. What's good with you? And Juan like, nah, man, nah, you know me. You know me. Nah, never that. Never. They're like, I bet. So listen, this is what we gonna do. We gonna set up a fade. You versus the punk. You're like, you want me to fight a punk? Yeah, we want you to fight a punk. And mind you, like I said before, they know he ain't no punk as far as fighting goes. They don't know about everything else, but they know he could fight. And they're like, yeah. As a matter of fact, if you win, cool. If he win, you gotta drop your flag and he join the gang. He gonna take your spot. And he like, I say no more. Because now at this point, Juan has no idea about that intel. He didn't get the memo. He didn't hear that Miguel really know how to fight. So now they find Miguel and they tell him what it is. Like, listen, you got these allegations. You know, we know who you are, but we also hearing that you on the other side. So you got to prove to us that you not that. Because you're supposed to be a prospect for the Nietas, even though you fronting on joining. But we're going to keep pressing you till you get the big picture. And he like, all right, man, whatever, man, whatever. Get out of my face, man. Just leave. Win. And they set it up. Alright, you better get a bag. You better get a body bag. Finna hurt that boy. Tired of him anyway. Now, this is Miguel talking crazy. Juan don't know all of this. Let's fast forward to the fizzade. Juan is getting his ass whooped, y'all. Miguel is actually nice with the hands. Putting old boy down left and right. If it was a real fight, it would have been a TKO because Juan hit that mat at least 5 times. Now, when it was all done and over with, Miguel was the winner. Juan was all lumped up, swole up, couldn't tell which way was left or right, walking crooked. And right then, the Nietas looked at him very different. They like, you let a punk beat you up? You let a punk beat your ass? Nah, fool, give me that flag. And they snatched his flag from him, and they gave it to Miguel. And they said, hey, whatever you is, just keep that shit away from the gang. But you repping Yetha now. And he pretty much ain't had no choice. They pretty much forced Miguel into the gang just because he could fight. And he's another soldier in prison, having as many soldiers as possible. Or that's the winning chess move. So Juan was alright. He got excommunicated, and he ended up getting his life together. Juan, you could say it was divine intervention. Juan walked away from the whole gang life when they kicked him out. He went back to school, got his GED, ended up, doing life skills programs and different programs in the prison that help you readapt into society. And, eventually, about another 7 or 8 more years, Juan went home. He was old as hell, but he learned his lesson. And Juan, from what I'm hearing, which I don't know if I believe, but supposedly he never touched another boy, girl again. Alright, y'all, look, that's going to be the end of this story. I hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that hype button, y'all. Stop playing. And let me know what you think in the comment box. As usual, this is the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out.